Thank you so much, Hannah. Lovely to see you and lovely to see everybody else. Everybody else, you look gorgeous. Relax, I can't actually see you, but it's lovely to be here with you today. And to get us all started, I'm going to ask you to type a little message into the chat for us. We're going to be talking about teacher training. So we'd love to know, are you a teacher, a trainer, or something else? Tell us in the chat. Tell us in the chat. Are you a teacher, a trainer, or something else? Bit of everything. Good. Fantastic. Lots of teachers, some trainers. Wonderful. All right. Oh, lovely to see some former colleagues there. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Please also let me know if you can now see my slides appearing on the screen for you. Just say, got it, got it, got it. Lovely, thank you everyone. All righty. So we're going to be with you now until 1:15, wherever you are. And we're telling our tale of teacher training and adventures from lessons from launching, as Henno mentioned, the Queensland Institute. And thank you for sharing your comments in the chat with us. And your abstract is here for you, for those of you who are watching a little bit later today. But the title of our presentation is Lessons from Launching, Successful Strategies for Taking Teacher Training Online. And I'm Fiona Wiebusch, and I'm delighted to be joined by my colleague and co-director of the Queensland Institute, Philippa Coleman. Give us a wave, Philippa. She'll be joining us shortly. So in today's 10-minute power presentation, we're going to share our story of transformation over the last 12 months. After all, it's not just our learners who have experienced great change, it's all of us as teachers too. So that's why at the Queensland Institute, our mission has become wanting to empower global educators through practical professional development that makes those connections between language and learning and teaching all online in 2021. But we begin our story back where it all began. Once upon a time, in the Sunshine State, some talented teachers worked in a magical place called the University of Queensland's Institute of Continuing TESOL Education. And it's in this place where professional development flourished. It's where Henno and Paul dreamed up the Ed Tech SIG. It's also Henno pre-beard, I noticed, beard going well. And it's where Philippa and I are privileged to lead teacher training programs for many years. And it was here, surrounded by some pretty incredible colleagues, that we honed our skills in blended and online delivery in recent years. But of course, in early 2020, when the planes stopped bringing our international teachers to us, we knew that we needed a new way to fly. We wanted to be able to continue to support our international partners by providing quality teacher training, really at a time where the teachers needed our help more than ever. And our mission became our new adventure. We wanted to build and deliver interactive, practical and immersive online training programs. So we gathered lots of our business mentors and colleagues and forged international partnerships. We wrote new online materials, we're still writing. We sought advice from lawyers, accountants and comms teams, and taught ourselves a lot with YouTube and set up our training team of colleagues. And by April 2021, the Queensland Institute was delivering teacher training again across the Asia Pacific. So what did we learn along the way? Philippa.
Well, yes, it's been an incredible whirlwind filled with triumphs and some turbulence. And we've had many discoveries along the way too. So for us, practicality and learning by doing are really important for teacher training. And two key examples of how we've achieved this in an online space are firstly, maintaining peer-to-peer teaching practice in our programs and incorporating a range of digital tools to support and manage formative feedback. And after Russell's presentation, I think we'll be adding a few more digital tools to our armoury. So firstly, we kept teaching practice in our programs. All our participants in our programs experience demonstration lessons with us in a typical interactive webinar format. Then they're guided through some teaching practice project-based learning resources and join consultation sessions with their trainers. The participants continue preparing their lesson plans asynchronously in preparation for their teaching, and they typically deliver their lessons live with their peers logged onto a single Zoom room or in scheduled breakout rooms for larger groups. And then secondly, we adapted our approach to teacher reflection and feedback. So teaching resources and written feedback are shared via digital notice boards like Padlet. We model and use a range of freely accessible digital apps to manage synchronous peer-to-peer written commentary during teaching sessions. Google Jamboard is one example. And we also use other apps like Flipgrid to manage asynchronous feedback from peers and tutors. Facebook groups also help to encourage intercultural exchange and communities of practice. So these small changes to teaching practice and feedback have worked well for us so far. And even though there's been lots of new discoveries, we feel the results remain the same. So for example, last week, we hosted a mini conference with our teacher trainees as the presenters. We were very pleasantly surprised that their topics that they chose to showcase their learning were not the tools they'd used in our program, it was the teaching. So these are some of their topics. Aren't they terrific? And all of this gave us the confidence that maybe we're still on the right flight path.
So as we look back over the last 6 months, the view is pretty incredible. And there are 3 things that we learned since launching the Queensland Institute. I'm probably going to get grief from my ICT colleagues about 3 things. There are always 3 things from me. So the first thing that we learned is that teacher training, or teaching online, in fact, is not deficient. It's just different. So having observed hundreds of teachers now teaching online in the last year, we know that even though we're online, we are actually still face-to-face. We know that we're able to still make connections with our students. We can still build communities of practice. We can still inspire innovation in teaching and make training sustainable, enjoyable, as we've seen today, and accessible. And that's the second thing that we learned, that working online has actually brought the world closer to us. The teacher participants we work with now have access to training that they might never have had access to before. And yes, we still partner with traditional institutions like universities or ministries of education, but also schools in remote communities or in tiny nations. And greater access to quality training is something that really resonates with us and has brought many lessons, but also a lot of meaning to our own training careers over the last 6 months in particular, because it's in these places where the empowerment is real and greatly appreciated. So the third lesson we've learned is that we no longer look for training clients. We look for training partners. We're teachers, we always have been, and we always will be. So our strengths lie in developing academic partnerships to plan and deliver teacher training that's really fit for purpose, wherever that may be. So that means that we treat our partners' professional development outcomes as if they were our own, because they really are. So we are still learning to fly this online training machine, and we need to keep the fires burning. So we would love to hear from you and hear your stories of teacher training and online professional development too. We are on a mission to empower global educators, and we hope that you will join us and share your experiences too. You can join us in the chat. You can certainly connect with us in all of these ways. given our time, I thought it might be prudent to have a little Padlet ready to rock and roll that you can actually add your Q&A there, perhaps, if you click on the Padlet, and then we can respond anytime to you. But thank you so much for joining us. And our teacher participants wanted to get involved too, so they're going to say just a quick little farewell to you here.
Adios.
There you go. They'll be stoked they get to feature for a minute.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. And I'm sure you'll get lots of